Good morning, morning, morning. It is Saturday, October 13th, 2018. At was 0600 hours, 49 minutes. To, Today it is parents too. Like character buttes and like who you are, who you become, and what have they missed. So far in my life, from what I learned from my parents, and you can talk to your parents. I don't know why parents they my mother and father done a good job individually more so than the other. But there's still a lot of things that I know that I wasn't taught. I'm not gonna make an excuse for what I don't know, but I surely wasn't taught a lot of things. But if you talk to our parents, they'll tell you they taught us everything, and I think that's the bad part. Because I would never say I taught you everything if I didn't. Only can teach you what I know, and we learn what our parents know. It's a little different because what we've been through and how we was raised and how we grew up. I received a lot of knowledge from my parents' experience. And a lot of things we was taught is very traditional because you can listen to their words. And I noticed I'm a word person my whole life because it's starting to really play on me. Like, why is I'm so more discerned with words than the actual like action? Like people, there's a lot of people that worry about the action, but I listen to the word because in people words there is their actions. Nobody want to really give that notion because people are like, well, I don't really listen to what you say. I listen to what you do. But you have to listen to what people say too. To me, what they say is first because you got to remember the cause and effect. If a person tell you what they're going to tell you, it's a literal sense. That's how they're going to do it. Like imagine doing a recipe and you ask the person, "How do you make this?" And they always leave out the salt. Salt is important. It kind of like breaks down, like give you a little different flavor. Or let's say it's not salt. Let's say it's a pepper. That's the spice. That's the kick part. And they just say leave out the pepper every time. Or one important step. Or they don't realize, man, if I mess up, I didn't really mess up. I can add water. I can add some more must. They don't have that. Let's say they leave that out every single time. So comparing recipe to a life. And you keep implementing that and you keep asking them to do a specific job for you. But in this job, just like that salt or that pepper, they're leaving out one ingredient that actually separated from what like spaghetti and goulash. It's a flavor in goulash. It's a seasoning, and that's I brought it because that's towards me. And I don't. I made goulash once, and it tasted different. Now I don't remember it, and every time I don't make it because I was like, "What is this seasoning?" And I'd be like, I don't think about to Google. I don't always think to Google or to look something up all the time because I'm so used to a beginning growing up. I wasn't used to that. I wasn't told to go Google. I was told just to go study. I wasn't told to go look it up. Just go study. Like if I didn't know the answer, like what is a peninsula? They didn't tell me what is go look up the definition. I was told you need to go study again. You see that? See the wording is different. So just like you missing that ingredient or you waiting for that person for a specific change, the word to me is very important because that gets you. You be like, what ingredient? Because now you are aware. What ingredient am I missing? What do I need to study so I can get the right answer or definition? And then once you learn, you got the knowledge to know, to know what you're speaking about. And like, oh yeah, I forgot the pepper aside. Oh, this is what peninsula mean, and this is the part where parenting kicked in, and that kind of like, and it does. It's not a kind of. It shows the child what to say, and the words become clear. So that's like one. Since people say, "Well, you're not a parent," well, I am a son. not in the sense of the slave son, but the son of my mother and father. However, we got to the word, we're not going to even focus on that part. That's a whole different story. But for parenting sake, I am the son. That's my mom and my father, my mother and father, and the son, the seed, son seed. So I am who they helped me create, but they helped. That's why it's called moving forward of creation, procreate, moving forward of what is being made. This person is made. I am moving forward from my parents. I'm going to be better and greater. But without the proper information, I can be better. But my parents' experience is the greatest things of all. They can show me regardless how much they know. So for people out there too, now there's the other opposite side of parents, please allow everything to enter a child life that you know. And this is the child side. I don't care what your parent have done or said. There was a lot of things you learned on the intangibles, the mental, the physical, the informative and knowledge side that you would not have learned if you didn't have a parent. So imagine a person that don't have parents. Imagine what they didn't learn compared to like, okay, my father was there, he ain't teaching me nothing. But he was there some of the time. Something was taught. Whether you it was illuminated to you or not. I mean, he literally said, this is how you save money. This is how you put money into an account. This is how you put money into a safe, that's your own safe. This is how you whatever he trying to show you. Imagine people with no parents. And most people with no parents usually get the bad end of the stick and they end up meeting someone. That's not so great. I met children with no parents. And when I leave them and I realize it, I was like, real parents, I don't have any. I'm raised by my grandmother. And some people raised by grandparents, their grandparents is too of age, farther in age to really have that the effort and the time is going to be different spent with them. See, they're not going to do a lot of things. Like they're going to like naturally they're going to miss their encouragement. Like so, if they have a sports game, they go to an event at the school. Most naturally, they're older, and the child like, and then that's the thing about a child. They understand the difference. They was like, oh, my grandparent wouldn't pay, but but the grandparent get home, they got all their things on the wall. Their grandparents so proud because the grandparent only much they can do. They're the guardian, but they not the parent. They did not birth your child. The child that they had did, and whatever reason they couldn't take care of the child. So the encouragement come from a different way, but the child understand that as long as your child has a support in the way you can give it, and some support got to be stronger, and then the other support, like just like how you discipline a child. See, people like this gonna go how we say straw man or deaf ear argument because they say you're not there yet, you don't have that. That's like, oh, you're talking about $1 million, but you don't have $1 million. But I know what I need to do. I'm far from it, but I'm closer than you so called. Since I don't have 1 million, you won't talk to a. But I'm not out there spending my money on crazy stuff. I'm showing you how to save. I am an example of using my money that I have. What make me less qualified than a person that has $1 million? And that's the thing we got to stop doing. We want to be. It's like we try to be politically correct. Oh, he can't dance. I'm not being technical. So if you're looking for him to have a stop, a pop, a certain type of movement when he does that, he might not or she might not have that. Just as your parents, they might or might not. But if you always looking toward somebody else and wanting them to have it, you got to look at for what you have. But a child don't understand that. So on the parent side, you got to be your best you. You don't. You have to be perfect. I'm using perfect because we are perfect. We are great. I don't use downing words. I don't use low esteem words. Because the low esteem words you use, that's how you will feel. You feel low. If you stay on a high, If you use the energies and vibrations, if you talk anything about spirituality, or if you talk about some type of belief, a strong belief, that's high vibrations. That's high energy. You stay on high. You don't never bring yourself to low. And that's the thing about any spirituality. If you got to bring yourself lower than what you are intended for, I don't want it. Like when I hear any spirituality, my creator is higher than me. I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna be low, this, and that. It's like no, he never told us once to be low. I remember knowing, be bold. Come to me. If I'm coming to somebody, I'm not walking up to you, hey man, can I borrow 10? Like, yo, man, things went a little wrong and I need $10. Just I don't need no extra money. I need $10, man, to finish paying off my bills for this month. I can work everything else out. And it's $10. Do you mind? Do you have it? I can pay it back. Or if you know it's gonna be a hard time, okay. You see, I'm missing. I mean, I'm behind. So I'm $10 behind. That's not a lot. So I can catch up a little faster, do a little overtime, go work a little harder, go take on some projects I normally wouldn't take on, but I know how to do. That's the responsibility part and the parent part that come in. And I remember a person I was taking up criminal justice, intro to criminal. The guy, our instructor, was like, and I was the person in the class. Everybody looked at me. I guess I was the kind of the oldest. I don't think I was the oldest at the time. I think it was like two or three guys, but they wasn't very verbal. But I was. I was always in the conversation, giving everybody the challenge, and I always been that way, not on purpose. But everybody looked at me, especially a lot of people was younger. Even the one girl that I thought I heard her talking about me in a bad way, but even her, because even the time in class, I thought she was just so pretty. Her name was Victoria Green. I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. But anyway, that's when I was using I was so called Christian around that time. So my mind, I was using God. That's why I said God. And she asked me questions. I was like, oh, talking to me, okay. And I had that mindset because we was growing up as young men. She's out of your league because of her beauty, not because of her personality, because of her beauty. And then as I got older, I was like, beauty don't matter because a lot of beautiful women don't even realize they are beautiful. And I was like, wow, a lot of women don't even realize their beauty. I seen a woman say, I'm not that pretty compared to other women. I was like, yo, you are. I don't know. All I knew was to be corny. If you call it corny, thirsty, or whatever, I was like, and we used the word bad as good. But then I was like, you bad, yo, you was so beautiful. And she was brown skinned. All you can see her like somebody told me you never seen my face turn red. Like, oh, black guy face turn red because of a blushing or whatever. Her face turned red. That's the first time I seen a black woman face turn red. Cause I was just complimenting her like, what is wrong with you? Like, yo, you crazy. And and that's by my compliments, like it let her know. I was like, people look at her beauty because it's the way society is. Your nose not big. There's nothing wrong with your face. Like I was like, no, literally, you're like a. Her face had a little cricket nose. It was something about her, but I was like, in reality, if we went by like a true beauty, I guess a position or a grade or a rating, she would not get very high around the world. But I guess in the demographic we're in, she was rated low. And I was like, I don't know why. But I've never been the type of guy to always agree with other guys with beauty because my beauty is different. I would see a woman just because she have a big nose, dudes would say she's not pretty, or if she have hair on her chest. It's a lot of things dudes would say a woman not beautiful for, and or her toe, her feet. I was like, well, that stuff is like non so important to me. And I also found beauty in the personality, not the way people say. Well, you say she got a nice personality, I mean she was ugly. No, if I say she got a nice, good personality, I want to say nice, then that shows you something different. And most of the guys that hung around me when I said that, it's like, yo, we want to see her. I'm like, oh, I can see where you see the beauty at her. And like, people like, yeah, none of your women was even pretty. I was like, because y'all just looking straight at. I don't know if y'all even looking at their face because even in their face. But to me, I only see my women, my race of women as beautiful. So maybe our people had a different depiction. And they was like, "What do you think about this white girl?" I was like, "She's not ugly," but I wouldn't talk to her. But then I see some white girls like, because I'm like, even to black women, I was like, I wouldn't call them the most like, oh, she the most beautiful woman in the world. Like instance, she's not white, but there's really no white actress women out there that's really. Oh, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I think she's beautiful. And so like white dudes would call her ugly. I was like, hmm. I was like, she not ugly. I was like, y'all got some weird taste. And then they would call some white girl that's in some movie pretty, and I was like, she's not that pretty. But that's the character of what my parents gave off to me. My mother and father never really taught me about racism. It was kind of mentioned, but it was never saying, "Son, you're gonna go through this." Cause, but what they always prided on is how they disciplined us. See, if you discipline your child the right way, now this is my truth, because I found what my parents have done correlated to my life. The things that they did show me, their experience, their love, their actions basically correlated to my life. And then there was a lot of correlation to my life that was tangible, that was there. But as a child, you don't grasp on because you was not. That's like sex. All the young people that caught their parents having sex with another man that's not their father, that kind of like that's a tangible. See, I'm not gonna call it intangible. Is like playing sports. The tangible is, can you score? Can you play defense? Now, what comes with that? Now, with scoring is more like points, understanding the offense, being a coach on the floor. That means the coach go out, get hurt, or you need another person to understand how the coach think. You need that type of person. That's the tangible. The tangible is the points. Like, but the intangible, sorry, the intangible is having that person that can be like a coach. So that point guard that run the floor, or the guy that's handling the ball. He's not always the point guard now. It's, rules change. People got different analogies now. But to me, a point guard for instructional purpose, as it always been and it should be, is called the point guard. He's always the first one back. That's an intangible. Him being able to take a ball to court, that's a tangible because that is his duty responsibility based on the game that you need. You need a point guard that can do that, don't matter what. He may not be the best at it, even if the small forward can best at run the, but you need your point guard to at least have some of his close of his duty that goes to his character. You need your character to be somewhat close to your words. So if the parents don't show the children that, it's very hard for the child to understand that as an adult. But when he get to the adult, he or she get to our adult stage, then what they're going to be trying to do is work on. So what that do is put them behind. And and the character, the experience, what else? The character, the attributes. Now everybody attributes is not going to be the same. Like how you say, I'm higher, I love her, I do this better. I like, yeah. Mine is not going to be the same as yours because in life, I had to compensate for what I didn't know. And this is the most sad, the most threatening logic to man and woman. I'm gonna start with men. When a man think he know more than a woman, or when a man just say this is just a woman's duty, vice versa. When a woman think she had a good father and a brother, that was it. I know what a man is. I know what a man's supposed to do. But in her womanhood, she assumes the position of so-called a man, but not really assuming the position because she's not a man. And then she's saying, I know what a man's supposed, I know what a leader is. No, you don't. You don't know the leader is because you have not met your husband. You deny men based on what you've seen. What you didn't deny, you didn't disqualify him based on him. And this is where we got to learn how to qualify somebody for us. He might not be your husband. She might not be your wife, but you disqualified a person that you didn't even get to know for them. You're gonna keep wanting people to be the way you want them to be. You're gonna miss people. People thought that about me because I'm single. Like, oh, you picky? No, I wasn't picky. A woman, I could not bear who she was. She was too much, and too much is not good. I don't know why. And I'm learning a woman's psyche and a man's psyche is depicted on by their parents. A woman's psyche and a man's psyche is depicted on by their parents. If a brother was never really given praise compared to his sister because she's a young lady, or that was just the way it went based on, okay, she pick up faster than him. She do this better. That kind of affects the young brother or the son or the if he's the oldest brother, that affects him. If he get in trouble for his brother, that affects him. If she get in trouble for that, if all these see, and nobody thought about this because this was never a thought of. Because parents is you do as I say, you don't do, and then some children took it a little farther. You do as I do, because that's what when you say you do as I say, the implication is you do as I do as well. So if mommy and daddy never set a precedent example, it's a mother and father, you a parent, you got to set a precedent example. See, this sounds stupid because I don't have children, but I used to be a son and I'm still a somebody. My mother still called me her child, which I am. No matter how she treat me, I don't have to take on her characteristic now. I would never leave my child out hanging. My child is, my child to me is always a reflection of me. I would never say, well, I'll raise, my mother would say this to me. I raised you, so whatever you do is your choice. It is my choice. But in that understanding of her logic, cool, we're done. I'm not done. My child, I'm not gonna grow up my child and then my child like, oh, you want to sell drugs? I never sold drugs before, so I don't know what you're doing. I don't even get why you think that's so important. And I was like, I gained so much knowledge. We've done life so much different. You know how to make legal money and you can still be a legal drug dealer. And you can make it, you're going to be, I'm going to tell my son that. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. I did not show you this. You have no reason to do this. This is stupid to me. And I'm telling my father, you doing it? I'm like, you stupid. I don't tell my child that. I'm like, you stupid because you got an information in front of your face, your father, and you choose to do all these bad things. What's really wrong? What you are you missing some knowledge? Is your brain not comprehending? And as a father, I'm gonna be here to say this to my child because there's nothing gonna be. I'm not gonna be lying to my child. There's no Santa. There's no Easter bunny. The law is created and made this way. They're gonna know their law. They're gonna know their amendment. They're gonna know when they're right or wrong. Because when my child come to me, they're gonna say my teacher don't like me. No, they're gonna give me a reason. So what reason of your teacher is coming on you? I don't care. And I met racist people, and they racist to the core. They heart is full of just hate. But I have talked to them. And I was like, why you don't like me? Because of your color. What happened so bad? Well, I got raped by a black man or a Puerto Rican. Oh, okay. See, nobody would really actually want to get down. But I was like, you know that's, and I was like, well, there's a flip side as well. I was like, you met me. You brought the same hate that was forced upon you, that created your hate. You're bringing it to me. And you trying to tell me anybody outside of me that you couldn't tell me you was a good person. Because you're putting all the blame on me. You lumped me in with that one black man that raped you. You too, women. You've been hurt. You lumped it in. But you continue to be hurt because you never gained and this is a different one for parents. And this is to the parents. You got to gain your power back. Whatever, I gained my power. I know he racist. I'm not stupid. Like a dude just went through this. He Puerto Rican. I was like, dude, you Puerto Rican. You're not white. I don't care how many white women you be with. I don't care how white you look, how white you talk, dude, you're Puerto Rican. And he just got in trouble. He got his white girlfriend in trouble. Well, and it's not the first time. So I don't know All I can go, and it's true. This is true. All I can go by is what I seen and heard. Now, anything after that and before that, I don't know. I wasn't there for all of that. But I can tell you, and that's how I talk. It's like, sir, is this the truth? I was like, yes. There's a certain time I was there. That's all I have seen. That was revealed to me. When I turned my head, when I went to his bathroom, when I did anything else, I do not know what was going on. Just like he implemented to me, and I thought this was funny. Ooh. And this is so we manifest things. Remember the same gentleman? He said the guy said he stepped on their tools and he was smoking weed. It's funny how that happened. And it was funny how we had a discussion about what's going on, time and events. He said from 5 a.m., remember? From 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to 1 to 13:05. So that's 1 o'clock, 1:05, 1 o'clock, 1:05 in the afternoon, 1:05. That's 1 o'clock p.m., 5 minutes in the afternoon, 13:05. He said that's when his day did not become okay. And I thought that was very funny how I just explained. I only seen what happened with my own two eyes and heard from the time frame I was there. Like before and after, I don't know. That's all I can go by. So I learned facts, truth. A fact is only what you can truly see and understand and know. The truth is what really happened. Where the truth is only can go by. I seen him standing to the guy. I heard him talk to the guy. I watched him talk. I watched them. Anything before that and after that, when I was not there in the presence and I could not see or hear what he was saying, I cannot give truth to that. Ooh. See, I sound silly to some people because it's the first time we are taking and breaking down words in language and translation. The creator have had me, but my friend, he didn't study the blood. Because soon as the first time I studied blood, I asked questions. Because when I study, I ask questions to the creator, the spirit. So like, then I thought about it. One time I was looking at the blood, a book about blood, hemoglobin, how we do dialysis, and I just wanted to know. I was at the library and I just ran. I just kept picking out books. I was just picking out books, any type of book, any type of book. And I read a kind of book part about blood. I learned blood is very dirty. And I was like, hold up. So medical and science know blood is dirty. Why do we transfer blood? And I thought about, but mainly what made me think about it, since we want to say don't bring religion comes into everything, I thought about Jehovah Witnesses. I learned Jehovah Witnesses don't like blood transfusion. They don't mess with the blood. But we was taught blood in the other religion, it cleansed us. But it didn't talk about the water. And I was like, snap, crackle, pop, brain. The light bulb came on. So I was like, blood is dirty. Now when I walk to people, we talking about when I hear blood, I was like, did you know blood was dirty? They were like, no. Just like I would talk to people about sexually transmitted diseases and infections. I knew this, but I never had the time like really to talk about it. Except on AIDS Day, but I never said nothing. But then I had to give a quick report when I was doing my CNA. I was like, oh yeah, I know this already. So that was one of my slides was about sexually transmitted diseases and infections. I was like, do you know you can get that in the mouth? Everybody facial expression. When they looked at me, I seen a few people probably like, yeah. But I showed pictures and described it and they got more interested. I was like, oh no, you can get, I was like, yes, you can get any disease that comes through penetration. Because if you get oral sex, and I said women, and I'm a little older in the class than everybody there too, again, except like one or two people and then an instructor, like always. And this is education. When you go out, And school is not always higher learning because now I just educated. It's like you can do that. You can like, yup. And I was like women not being funny and young men. The one guy that was in my class, including me, it was two of us. It would have been like five or four, but it would have been more. Our class was very big when we started. And I was like, this is gonna be hard. And I learned that yeah, this is a hard class because when you learn the skills with a big class, everybody gotta get a turn. But at the same time, everybody's not on the same level. But that's a different story. So they did not know majority, 91% of the class, 90, it was like 90. Because I ain't gonna do all that. Because I'm like 10 and the other one other person was like 2. Oh, like 15, 16 of them. So 90% of the class didn't know you can get a sexually transmitted disease or infection in your mouth, a STI or STD. And I showed them pictures. I like, this is gonorrhea in the mouth. And I was like, well, this is vaginitis. It's called trach. It's started with a T. I was like, this is what you get in the mouth, even though it comes from the vagina mostly, because the woman get this because of men dirty penis, and that's why it's not good. And anyway, I was like, well, condoms don't really protect you from the disease, but if you look at a lot of things, it keeps it covered. At least dirt will not enter you if he's dirty down there. He come from playing basketball. Like that's not cool. At least have him rinse himself off. If you was working out, at least rinse yourself off. Because you can get an infection that's not a disease. Like drip. If you're dirty, you can get a urinary tract infection. And I was like, if a woman have a urinary tract infection, the man has sex with her, and he go to another woman, he just pass it on. Or if you get from that's in your throat now. See, and it's like you don't think about this. I never met so many young and everything is over sexualized. But I have learned with myself, get away from sexual women, get away from sexual men, get away from sexual like activities that look like sex, that don't remind, get away things that's sexualized. Like I can watch a movie, but is this movie over sexual? Why is they always play naked? Why the girl in each scene got a little skirt? Why is her booty cheek showing? Why is her breast always protruding? Why is not a breast cover? Things like that. It takes away the stimulation of the sex. You never lose nothing. You just gain your energy into a better place. Imagine if your energy is not focused on sex and how many orgasms or ejaculation is going to happen. And ejaculation and orgasms are two different things. This woman tried to laugh at me. I was like, well, men don't have, or our orgasms would probably be closer to your orgasms when they are harder and stronger. Sometimes it can come from a time where you didn't have something long to have sexual encounters or acts in a long time, or sometimes it just can happen. We don't know. But parents don't teach this. Parents don't even guide the children about sex. The first time I mainly heard about sex was outside of the home. Then I told my mother. Then I heard a little bit, but she ain't guide me. And I noticed now we don't even talk about celibacy. I haven't heard nothing. And I challenge people. I was like, when's the time you heard about celibacy or abstinence? When was the last time we talked about the children about this? No, we're not talking about it no more. And if we are, it's 5 minutes, and then the rest is on contraception because we cursing them saying they're already going to do it. But this is part of your attributes. Attributes can rise and lower based on the knowledge and the information that you have. If I want to shoot better, I don't go read a book on how to shoot. I go out there and practice it. I keep practicing it. And what I do, I take the time out to figure out why I'm having the trouble. I might need to go lift some weights to shoot better. We know the ball light. I know I'm strong. Maybe I need to change the way, not change, or take the time out and study myself. But we don't do that. But I'm doing it at 35. I don't have children. So my mother had me at 32. Now I'm 35, so I'm 3 years out of about to be 36, about to be 4 years out of when my mother had me. So I have a 4 year advantage in the sense because I have my mother who raised me. I have the information, the intangible and intangibles of a child. I have a semi experience because I have really raised my nieces and nephew in some sense. I changed the diaper. I fed them. I have stayed up all night with one of them. So it's nothing that I'm missing that as a parent I wouldn't go through besides the longevity. But people like to use that. You ain't go to like, no, I did. It's like then when you've done all the things you can do, possibly do to have them understand, you gain the attributes. You went so a person that never changed a pamper or a diaper, that had a baby and then learned that. But I'm already starting off with some energy in that focus. I know a child gonna stay up all night. See, you as a parent, you might have had a child young, and it's not a diss. But look at the information you have learned about your child that I don't know. I gotta now get to the point about learn about my child and how to discipline them. I don't know that part. But you started off with zero. You never changed a pamper, but I have. I'm already starting off with like a 23. Starting off with a zero. Now, if you would say I started off with a zero, you have a discern. So would you leave your child with me compared to a person that don't have a child that never changed a pamper? I know the do people like, I can't put my child in bed. Come here, let me see your child. And he's like, what is you doing? You're giving them more energy. No, your child is not tired. Your child keep getting up to play. I have some energy that you don't have. Let's do this. And I outran the child. The child like, oh my God, stop it. The child got tired of me. Then the child finally calmed down. They didn't lay down. They calmed down. Then the child calmed down. Let the child sit there for 2 seconds. They out or they tired. I remember my niece. She just used to fight her sleep. I didn't force her to bed. I did not force her to bed. She's like, I want to get on the couch. I knew she wasn't about to play. Even if I went to sleep, I knew she wasn't about to get up and do anything. She was too tired. She fighting her sleep. Next thing you know, I wake up out of my sleep and she knocked out with the cover. So I put the cover on her. I'm like, I ain't got to move her. I ain't got to do nothing to her. Let her be. She sleep. When a child sleep, that's something I learned. But I'm not a parent yet, but nobody would take my understanding, my wiseness to incorporate it towards theirs. And that's the problem we had because we're back then too. When I was growing up, some effects of things was still left over because a lot of us can say this. Like when I grew up, like I hang out with the guy, he said the N word. I don't like it, and he'd look at me and I turn my head, and he had got and his smile would change, his laugh would change because I already told him I don't like it. But I was like, I can't force him to not saying nothing. But I can, after a while, I could stop being around him. And he get mad. And now not being funny, I do see how a man raised by a woman is affected compared to having a father. He grew up with 5 women. He's not nothing gay or nothing, but how he treat women is funny. He treat women how women allow themselves to be around him. And it's funny that he did that. But my mother did not allow me to do. My mother did not allow, how to say this. My mother did not allow those women characteristics that was actually not good for a man to not jump on me. But it kind of negated some of my characteristics as a man because another man wasn't there. He said he used words as key words. He said I still have my carnal or my wild. He's like, you're not gonna take the wild out of me. I'm still gonna be I'm not taking that out of you. But that wild in you, to me, and if we're gonna do raised by a mother characteristics and no father part, I want some of that wild, but you disrespectful as hell to women. I never had sex in my mother's apartment or house, whatever you want to call it. You have. I would never bring now growing up. Now think about this. And this is character. I'm just giving examples. Just think about everything you do. He had sex in his mother's house. I never did. Now listen to this. I never lived with a woman. He have. If anything, a woman, as always, every woman I let stay with me, they lived with me. The lady I'd have finally moved in with that was from Rochester, Elizabeth, she'd have moved in with me. I told her I'm not moving in with you. I will put you on my lease, but you moving in with me. Because what that does, and by me knowing, but that part where women miss what I just said, she understood it because she knew I was the type of dude. If right now, think about this: if you in a relationship, marriage, or whatever, you record yourself having sex, and you know if you record this, unless this person put this tape out, are you forget? Now this is the if I was a pastor, I wouldn't even ask that question. The question pastors like to ask is, if your wife couldn't have sex anymore and her vagina was messed up, you already eloped, would you still be with her? See, forget that question. Because then I can vice versa. If you can't, and what if she was more of a hornier person? The pastor don't know this, but he's looking at the man because we only work towards man leadership, but we don't think about the consequences on both sides. That's not what's taught. I'm not worried about that. I will ask this. As a man, I will get all the information all the way. Okay. And I'll ask them this. Have you ever had sex in your mother's house? And they say he told me yes. I said, okay. Your woman is working and you're not working. Is it okay when your woman is at work to invite a woman over to her place? That's and I will bring up questions like that. Okay, and I'll ask the woman, is it okay for you to be at work and allow a man to buy you food? Your car is broke down. Is it okay for allow another man to fix your tire? Now that's the questions. Like if you're gonna get in a relationship with me, I'm not asking you about your vagina and work. Uh, I'm single. I don't have sex. I went 2 years without sex before. I didn't have sex till I was 22. So, and I'm 35. I was 22, 23 in between. Like I recall, I want to say 22, but it could have been 23, like at the beginning of my birthday. Not because it was on my birthday. It could have been like my birthday month or the next month after my birthday. So sex and me, I didn't start at 12 and 13. I wasn't shown by a 26-year-old woman how to please a woman. Had to learn on my own. And the first time I had to please a woman, I done great. I do better at pleasing a woman when a woman is not as wild in her mind. You can be freaky to me. It's pleasure in the person to the ultimate pleasure with regular moves. You don't gotta go down on me. You don't have to do the stuff that you shouldn't be. If it's not in your repertoire, you don't have to do it. That's not freaky to me. Freaky is being extra excited about your sexual activity with that one person. My mother never brought home dudes. See, and I'm meeting women that done a lot of things in their life and they're in the church. Like, I gotta change life. I gotta change life too. But I'm actually smarter and wiser than what I used to. So if you're just using your religion as bettering yourself, you got a long way to go. And just because your parent has a religion, that don't make the child gonna come out good. You gotta some of that understanding that you have, you gotta pass. This is what you pass on. See, when I pass on, I want to leave a mark. My mark is my child, and the information and the knowledge I have gave my child. They're going to hear what I say. Just because you have done certain things, that don't mean you have raised your child. This is for the parents. Just because you've done certain things, that don't mean you have raised your child. You gave them food, shelter, and clothing. That don't mean you raised your child. Stop saying that to these children. I met so many people that had so much animosity or strong. I'm gonna say even I don't like dislike because dislike. I'm gonna say dislike because like is a strong word. is of close to like a hatred. It's a line. It's a variance. Like blessing. People don't even realize the blessing. It can be like how we say a curse, or it could be of honor, or it can be sovereign. It can be majestic, or it can bring rituals, spells to you, incantation, curses. It's which way you choose it. I can bless you. How are you blessing me? Don't pray for me. What are you saying first? I don't want your blessing. Like they like, I don't even know when somebody sneezes now, I just say shalom. Cause shalom, nothing missing, nothing broken. But I don't say bless you. Unless I'm around, like, and because if you get around people, your mind resort back to the people. Then I'll be like, somebody say something, I say shalom. I finally got to the church atmosphere where I got comfortable. And you know what I finally said? I said shalom. The person said thank you. I was like, oh, they know what shalom means. That's good. Then some people don't. They like kind of look at you weird, like, oh, okay, thank you. They didn't know what to say because they don't know what the word means. Like when I was in the church, people like Elizabeth tried to argue with me about you can't decipher tongues. Like, isn't the tongues for your spirit? Is you working in your spirit? And she said, okay. I said my church was giving off a tongues that I was going to, not my church, a church I was residing at, and I was living. Reside meaning to live, to live. Backwards it can mean evil as well. The other way around. But that's going from right to left. So if you say evil, you're going from right to left. So that person is live. That person is living. So like you're evil. Okay, I'm alive and I'm living. So what are you? Are you live and living? Yeah. So you're evil. And then I play with them. It's like I ain't like talking to me no more because I don't care because you're not going to call me what I'm not. And so they didn't know what. And I met people that have no understanding. You're reading a book, just like any other book is literature, but you won't test it out. You not even test. You won't even go study the information that's in there the true way. Now that's not enough for me to just take on and believe. So as on to parents, a lot of things I say, I may not be a parent, but you raising this child. It's your responsibility. It's your account. You push this child at your vagina. You allow this man. You ejaculated into this woman. That's your seed. Whatever they do, it falls on you. It can go on deaf ears. It can be a poor man's wisdom because I don't have a child. You can say whatever you want. But all I'm gonna do is speak to all truth. I am. And I work under truth. I don't work under this fascination or whatever you want to call it that people do. A lot of people do things for fascination, for TV, for entertainment. I don't. Because I learned what I'm speaking, what I speak about a lot. I don't hear this no more. See, when you hear it from me, it's boring. Like when the people around me, the younger, are like, oh, this is boring, this is stupid. I was like, but then you'd be surprised how many of them children like will sit there and like really listen to you. And then you see them again. I was like, yeah, I remember what you said. They don't gotta be doing it, but it's just they recite it. This dude could be on the street smoking crack, doing all of this, and he can remember. I walked up to a dude. I say, dude, stop. He ain't saying nothing. I said, stop. I said, what you doing? He said, I was like, no, be quiet. Hey, dude, you out here begging people. And then what made me mad? I was like, dude, I gave you $20 yesterday. Why are you out here begging people? You told me you had somewhere to you making your choice. I was like, I like, well, you psyching me. If you use some type of drugs, I don't see it on you. I just see you just not having no information. Then we went to the library. And like everybody I ever came across, people want to say people don't help people. These people are no longer on the street. I remember the one lady, and just changing the story a little bit. She challenged me out. Okay, this one lady I would see. After a while, I did stop giving her money because I started seeing her. It's like she got on new clothes. So I'm like, where's she going? I ain't asked her this. But then one day she asked me, do you have $2? I was like, I don't have it today. Then, and I don't know what this was. I don't say like, oh, that was the devil. No, because it was good. It was good for both of us. And she said, you haven't gave me no money in a long time. I was like, hold up, wait. I was like, excuse me, miss, what? She's like, you haven't gave me no money. I know how much money you gave me. I said, excuse me, miss, hold on. You're keeping track on how much money I gave you? Then I said, okay, have I not never given you money? And she ain't saying nothing. And I was like, okay then. But I was like, that is wrong of you. And I told her, I was like, I'm not going to let somebody, and I remember the first lady at the church say, this may be your preacher one day. I have respect for that. I don't care if she was or not. But I let her know, I was like, ma'am, that is wrong. You keeping track of how much money, and I was coming from work and I did basement waterproofing. So you can see me dirty. I was like, ma'am, you know what I did today? I broke up rocks. I stepped, I mud. I transferred to a truck. I emptied it off the truck. I put the tools on the truck, and all the tools are heavy. I was like, I worked hard for my $2. I was like, whether I have it or not, or want to give it to you, that's up to me. But I was like, that is wrong for you to keep track of the monies that people gave you. When I was like, man, you're not even working. You're doing nothing but just sitting out here. Like, that is wrong of you to try to make people feel bad. I was like, ma'am, I wouldn't do that to you. I just said thank you. Because I know maybe next time I might have it. I have it. And I said this time, it's times where I did have it, but it was like a $20 bill. I wasn't about to hand you a 20, and I didn't want to hand you a 20. I wanted to give you like a $5 or $2. I just didn't have it. So of course I'm gonna say no, I don't have it. And today I really don't have it. I don't even have it at all in my pocket or wallet or in my account per se. Because I know at the end of the week I gotta do things. So I said, man, and if I walk by everybody I get $2 to, that I just see hanging out outside, what do that help? How do that help me so I can help you? If I become like you, I'm gonna be out here doing the same thing. Because then, but in between that, she was saying stuff back to me. And so by me now being, I was like, I rebuke everything. I was like, that's a lie, that's rebuke, that's a lie, that's rebuke. Everything she kept saying. Because now it started saying like it was more getting demonic, what she was saying to me, than her actually dialoguing with me in conversation. And I was like, ma'am, that's that drugs in you. And I walked away. And after that day she seen me, it was like the respect change. Because people like that never hurt nobody. If somebody wronging you, you tell them they're wronging you. Like all the guy friends I ever had, when I stopped talking to them, they knew why. I was like, dude, you wrong. You treating your baby mama wrong. I don't care what she done. She young. You chose to be with her at a younger age. You're 8, 9 years older than her. Something of that nature. You met her at a younger age. What you thought was going to happen. If you had a vision that she was going to be that way, you could have been working towards it because you have a child together. And if you really wanted to be with her, you'd have made way and you allowed, and she never said she didn't want to be with you. But you tried to control her because based on some stupid religion. And I call it stupid. Because when you take your religion and you abuse it for your own works, parents, your children too, it's stupid, and you're stupid, and you're an idiot, you're foolish. If you don't like those words, then stop being that way. What you read is in there. You can find the word idiotic, stupid, hypocrisy, bigotry, lasciviousness. You can find that all throughout your literatures. And blasphemy, you can find it the right way too. There's examples that's used the correct way. What's a liar? What's not a liar? Who's your brother? How do you know you love me? There's a lot of examples. But then there's things in there that is not modernized. So you're trying to find the old, but it's about to be, see, it's no new versions because they're no longer telling, because you found out the truth. They no longer can trick me with some words. I heard what you said and I watched. You was like, it don't, this is a key. Just listen to this, men and women, especially women. If a man tell you, don't worry about my personal life, put a yellow flag on that. Cause that mean a lot of action he does. See, and you want to go by this holier than thou, this BS crap? No, he not holier than thou, but he not going to also entertain. He's not going to also. He's a tricker. It ain't tricking unless you got it. I got it, but it's still tricking. So if a man by his words telling you my personal life don't matter, it do matter to me, sir. I'm a man. I never done my mother like that, and let alone another woman. So why would I entertain a guy or another man that does that to women that I don't do? That's a parenting thing. And he give his this is not a diss, but if you watch that and you've been doing this, what was you doing to your wife? What you done to your wife so much? Or how did she feel? She couldn't even come to you about certain things. So your child going to be missing out on a lot of part of life that they don't know. They're going to be gaining no knowledge. That's the attributes. And what we see now in the 20th century, the child, when we're going to keep passing this on to generations after generations, because we want to be politically correct. We want some stupid religion, which you don't even have full understanding because you don't even study. Every person I know that studied religion, that try to like talk to me about it, I literally say, I am very practical and logical. So if you using scriptures, you please, and I don't know the difference between knowing what a scripture mean. I don't care if you recite the scripture over and over. That don't mean you know what it mean. Can you break down what that train a child in the way they should go? Can you break that down to me? I don't mean in some biblical way. I mean in some practical and logical sense. Why should I want to train, which for me I want to say guide? Why should I guide a child in the way they should go? That's the information that we're not giving our children. But what I say unto one, I say unto y'all, to all. I'm gonna say y'all. Y'all is you all. So just say you all. Your choice, it's your path, your journey, choose wisely. You are the parent. You have to choose wisely. Your path and your journey is predicated on your child path and journey. If you don't think so, look at your child and look at you. And by the grace of the Almighty, that your child is not like you. But I guarantee you your child is similar. The man said he don't like Puerto Rican women, but I like Puerto Rican and black. That's why I got a children by. No, but you don't see yourself with him. You see yourself with a white woman. His son don't like his own women. If there's nothing wrong with that, so be it. Whether it's an Asian, I like Asian man. Why you don't like Asian women? Because you treat them like crap. See, a white woman, you got to go to another race because they're going to take your crap. So when I see black woman with a white man, she taking his crap, then I know she wouldn't take with a black man, and that's obvious. And if it's not, and I have learned, when people go out of their own race, no matter what race they are rarely accepting of the stuff you are not, the attribute, the characteristic, the flaws, the faults. They are easy acceptable. You telling me a good man of your race and a good man of the same race, you rather be of the other race. That is something wrong with your psyche. I don't play with you no more. And I don't even care about the words. And and then you got to get to a point in your life when you don't give a damn as a parent. Because what one person say or to you, that don't mean they're doing that for their child and doing that in their home. And as an adult, you got to I don't give a damn. You don't benefit me. I was being kind and I make sure you fed. You don't make sure I'm fed. Food, before I met you, I was eating food. That's a fool's way of logic. Because I like to pass up on the truth. Like somebody say, like a cheater say, the person that's cheating on someone, well, I'm a cheater, but People that don't cheat, they're very unappreciated. Like, so you negate cheaters by trying to call out a person that don't cheat. They're gonna have a different pride about themselves than you do because you're working under the characteristics and the bad ones, the bad traits of affair, defiling. I'm not defiling my bed if I'm not cheating. I'm not even talking to the women at work, but you talking to the men around you. I remember a woman posted, and this is about parenting because their child sees this. They'll never let another man make your woman laugh. First of all, why is my woman in another man's face? And see, that's the stuff we don't. If you want your child to be better than you gotta have that perception of that inception inside of you first, the power of oneness. And if you want to call it that, whatever you believe in, trust in, it better be strong. And I don't mean no one mumbo jumbo, crappy gibberish strong. I mean like, yo, define what you mean. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Don't have mind games. I don't need mind games to tell the truth. I can go right into why I did it and why I won't do it again and what made me want to do it. That's the truth. I don't need no false, fake example. I don't need because to show yourself improve. I'm showing myself improve. I'm doing this on my own and per se on what is on. Well, it's nobody here supporting me. I don't have support. I don't have backup. I was homeless before, so I know how homeless is going to be. I had to learn a different way. I had to do things a different route. I had to go a different route. Couldn't go your route. You prayed and your mother or father, somebody gave you a free car. You ain't work for it. But then try to tell me about how hard to work. Well, that hard to work is for you because a man that don't work don't eat. That was for you. That was not for you to tell no one else because you found yourself not working and not utilizing the skills you have. You getting fed. How? By the grace. But after the grace, like a woman said, I lived in a house for 2 years. I didn't pay no mortgage, no nothing. I say, what happened 2 years later? They told you to leave the house, right? See, your grace ran out. See, I'm not going to be silly with you. And she ain't like talking to me. I was like, I don't care because that was the truth. You could talk about Yah, you could call yourself a Hebrew, but I'm going to speak some logic and practicality in your life. You got away with it for 2 years. The Creator allowed 2 years to go by. But in 2 years, what marks have you made substantial in your life to better your life, to better you? 2 years? Imagine not paying no rent. You walking into a house for 2 years. Man, 2 years? 2 years in my mother's house of not being able to have consistent job, more temporary jobs. I worked. I paid my part of the rent. I paid for toiletries. I paid for food. I took care of the house. But when that time came by, I had to leave based on my mother logic, not because of what of wrong I was doing. I didn't bring danger to the house, but in her mind, that's how it was. Not in practicality and logic. And logic, out of all the people that was staying there, you would want me staying there. I'm less in the way. I'm clean. And I clean more. I clean after other people. But no, you don't want that. You want other people and I found that to be very strange. But remember, as a parent, you got to decipher. You got to choose. You got to learn how to do a lot of things for this child. But once you create a child, 18, 23, 40, 50, until you're naturally gone, you are the parent. Stop saying crap because you hear other dumb parents say stuff. I'm happy that I'm happy of my parents, but at the same time, if you was the type of parent that helped me when I was out, I see parents working overtime and they're older than me. I'm 35, 40-year-old parents, their children are 20. They know they didn't teach their children. So you're not holding the guilt trip. That's what I wanted to use, the Ricky Smiley one about parenting. I'm not guilt tripping my mother, but I want her to actually think about what she did to me. When that church did that day, the first lady asked the mothers and the fathers to stand up and stand next to their child and apologize. It was a revelation. Like, yo, she was like, no, you did your child. She done it. She's like, I'll do it right in front of you too. I apologize to my children. I apologize what I put them through. I birthed them. It's my responsibility. So if she got that far, you think I'm gonna not listen to an older lady that tell me that's my responsibility? You think you young 35, 23, 40-year-old people, this lady 80 something, 88 now? Is she like 85 at this time, 86? It's like 88 now, 89? You think I'm not gonna listen to an 89-year-old with some great logical, common, practical, I don't care what her religion was, practical knowledge, and tell me that you or Ricky Smiley at 43, and I ain't gonna get into his personal life, but he said I wasn't a good father. I wasn't always there. You telling me don't let your child hold guilt over your head. You wasn't there, fool. That's a fool man's word of wisdom. Wisdom. Your fault that child, at some point, your child was affected. At some point, that affected caused your child to be a certain way. And you was not there to distract that or to counterbalance that. You brought no balance to your child life. So yes, it's your fault. So parents that think that way, don't say you ain't guilt tripping me. You should be guilt tripped. Make your ass think. You wasn't a good parent in that era around that time they needed you. What is the hell? That's what is the hell you talking about? That angers me because if I have a child, my child say, Dad, I remember that time you did that. All I can do is say, son or daughter, you right. You right. I apologize. I'm not bigger than my child. I got if you got a belief and your belief say no respect of no your creator, your almighty, your quote unquote God. Say I have no respect of man. Who are you to your child? You don't want to garnish all that. You rather groom them. I want to have all these nice clothes. Your son don't have a responsibility. Whose fault is that? You bought him Jordans his whole life. He's supposed to have Jordans. By all means, you're going to have some Jordans. You ain't buy him some regular off-brand. Because as a child, he didn't see that. But as he get older, he wanted to impress girls. He wanted to impress you. He wanted to be as what the parent taught him or show him or her. But if you don't think that way as a parent, let this go upon you. Let it fly over your head. Don't listen to nothing I say since I'm not a parent. But I am a child from my mother and father. Shalom. You have a great day.